to the well where the water runs deep. Stay here with me. Stay here with me. Come to...
Welcome once again, dear friends, to the Creative Recovery Initiative, where we create some space to consider addiction and alcoholism and the places, both creative and transformative, through which we seek our recovery and healing. In the next few episodes of the Creative Recovery Initiative, I'd like to share my story, what we in AA like to call my experience, strength, and hope. To tell the tale of someone's headlong rush into chaos is to open many doors at once. And doing so acknowledges the many conflicting winds that come from every direction upon a person. Winds that create a chaotic, heady mixture of life lived in fear, doubt, suspicion, anger, and pain. He had come to this one point at the convergence of many others. He was now the fly caught at the center of a complicated web of childish misfires. The swirling tempest that was his head found its root not so much in a life mislived, but perhaps more a life underlived. Adult life had never been especially easy for him. He took his cues from whomever was the most influential or interesting person in any room. It made him great at parties since he already lived everyone else's life and could draw on his social chameleon talents to woo and entertain. Ironically, sadly, he had little to no knowledge, however, of his own life. Such is a dangerous vacuum within one so predisposed to the inoculation of pain, the euphoria required to feel normal in a big, scary world. Meanwhile, back at home, the shrapnel of an already piecemeal existence lay in shattered reminders on their kitchen floor of his inability to face his own reality. His wife had little reason to believe that hope was anywhere near this debacle. They had stood at this crossroads before. He had already been through at least one bout of drink, repent, drink, repeat. The incision of betrayal left on her soul was deep, red, and raw. This felt like a whole new level of betrayal. Her head spun round in a tornado of disbelief and emotional turbulence. What now? Was the question pounding in her mind so unrelentingly. She knew how tenuous their circumstance was here in Oregon. They had moved to this town 1 month before the horrific events of 9/11, and now, with America and by association world events in turmoil, those seeking permanent residency were indefinitely put out to pasture. They were no strangers to upheaval, having moved a total of 8 times in just over 15 years. It seemed the dust rarely settled. Boxes remained packed. Trinkets still stored was a family pattern. It had bored a restless hole in the center of things and left them feeling unmoored, afloat somewhere in an open ocean of discontented homelessness. The stakes were high with this one, and they knew it. The move from Kelowna, BC to McMinnville, Oregon had been expedited the quickest by means of a religious worker visa. These are considerably more rare than other, more conventional ways of moving into the country. On the advice of those blissfully unaware of unforeseen events, they drove their 2 busted-down vehicles, their dog, and their 2 young boys across the border. Within 3 months of their arrival, a host of cosmic events unfurled. His father-in-law, a man he idolized, had been diagnosed with colon cancer. His brother-in-law, an Edmonton City Police officer, had sustained serious injuries in a foolish dive into his pool from a 3rd-floor balcony that left him a quadriplegic. And finally, planes flew into buildings that crashed to the ground. They were living their own ground zero with no recourse of leaving the country for the comforts of extended family, all in profound suffering. To leave would have meant forfeiting any hope of permanent residence, and too much was riding on this gig. A border that had always meant freedom of movement and welcome was to become, for a time, a 4,000-mile prison wall.
Come to the well where the water runs deep. Stay here with me. Stay here with me. Come to the water that never runs dry.